Alright guys, so it's probably going to be my first YouTube video for y'all that don't know me. Jeff Hill, Top Shelf Tackle. I'm also your Calhoun distributor if you guys need some plastic. I'm your guy. So this is going to be on just a basic color match. Single colors. We'll do laminate probably next week. But this particular one, this guy is wanting a scupper nog match. This is a Zoom Lizard. Oh, you can see it in the video. So what I'm going to do is give you guys an idea on how to do a very basic color match. This should be pretty straightforward. I'm pretty sure that my Lure Works scupper nog is going to be a direct match. I'm going to get you the number for that. That's 134, scupper nog 134. That Lure Works makes, I know, at least two different versions of scupper nog. This one is the 134. That's also the same as the old Bears Baits scupper nog if you guys need to match that for whatever reason. So first I'm going to do a little trick I do to give an idea of where I'm going to be at on this. We'll put a drop out here on the counter. Then I just take my little stir stick here, spread it out, thin it out, and then I will lay my lizard up against that. Probably hard for you guys to see in the video, but it's pretty close. And that's not a foolproof way of determining where you're at, but it gives you a really good idea on what to start with. You can mix colors out on the table or on the counter. Always use Formica. That's what I've always used, and it works great for this stuff. So, and that's one of the reasons for it. So, like I said, I got a pretty good idea where I'm going to need to be here. I'm going to go ahead and put a tablespoon in each side. I've got 12 cups plus salt in the pots over here stirring. That is going to cause me maybe a little bit of an issue since this is at least mostly unsalted. There's not a lot of salt in this in a lizard. And we're going for stick baits, which are heavily salted, so it may cause us a little trouble, but we'll get through it. Be right back. Any of you new guys that are watching this, don't do your measurements this way. Use the syringe and the bottle trick. This is not the greatest way to do it for sure. I need to get myself converted over to it, and I just never have taken the time to do it. So, starting with a tablespoon per side. Probably going to have to double that to get where we need to be, because scupper nog is not an opaque color, and that bait is pretty opaque. So we're probably going to have to add quite a bit of scupper nog to get where we need to be with it. Let that get stirred up good. I'll shoot a little bit out on the table here so we can see if we are close. Like I said, guys, probably going to have to double that. I don't think that a tablespoon is going to be enough. I think it's going to be too translucent, but we shall see. the old shooting star flowing. Get all this old color out of here. And we lost an O-ring. Great start. All right, now got all that other color out of there. Okay, so exactly as we expected there, not nearly enough color. So I'm gonna go ahead and double this up. You guys that are wondering why I shut my stirrers off and manually stir all of this in, anybody that's using this particular system, don't do that, especially with glitter. It'll do it with color, but especially with glitter. When you turn the stirrers back on, you will end up with a wad of it right there on your stir. It'll stick. The color won't disperse like it should. So that is why you see me doing that. Let that mix up for just a few seconds. This one out of the way, then we'll try again. Close. Real close. Let that sit for just a second. Just let it slightly solidify, and then I'll lay a little bit more on top of it. That way I get a good idea of what everything looks like in the thinner parts of the appendages, and then also the thickness of the body. Just an easy way to do that without having to shoot the mold and wait for it to cool and demold and all of that. Speed the cooling process a little. Now we're going to let that cool just enough where I can handle it. We'll see where we're at. Looks like we might be just a little bit too red. I'll show you how to deal with that as well. These are all 6-inch stick molds. These particular ones are BTS. There are 12 of them here, so 48 cavities. Chili slabs with, you can see the manifold back here, all these hoses. Then that runs down underneath my counter into the cooler. There's also a chiller under here mounted to the wall of this next bench over it that cools my water. I've got one pump running to the cooling plates and one pump running to the chiller. Just a constant circulation. And we're still not cool enough yet. These particular ones are this is the Bait Junkies version that Leonard builds. The reason these are set up this way, I don't know if you guys can see in the video, but these are underneath. And that's not the ideal way to run them, but these are the 5-inch plates because a lot of the molds I shoot are bigger. And with this plate being this tall, the only way for me to put them in between is if I space every one of them with another mold that I'm not shooting. So that's not a great way to do it either. It works just almost as well underneath here. If I'm shooting, like, say some of Magnum stuff, I do all of Magnum baits. I shoot all their baits for them. So you can see how much taller their molds are. So they get one in between every one of them, and it's more effective cooling that way. But like I said, this works pretty well. All right, now we get close here. Flip it over so maybe we can kind of see it here. I don't know if you guys can tell in there or not. We are really, really, really close. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot one of these molds. Let's see where we're at. Like I said, I think we're maybe just a little bit too red. If we are, I'll show you how to deal with that as well. Draw down a little bit, top it off one more time. These bolts have a pretty decent runner on them, so it doesn't really take much. Let it cool down and we'll pull them and see where they're at. I didn't go anywhere, guys. I'm right behind the camera. Just gotta write the recipe down as I go. That way I don't forget, because anything I'm good at, forgetting is it. Split O-ring off the shooting star. Old school shooting star, I should say. I'll do a video on that here in the near future as well. See where we're at. See if you got a better idea. Pull one of these side by side. Just almost perfect, but we do need to be just a little bit more brown. It's just a little bit on the red side. So I don't want to change my transparency very much. We're pretty close there as far as that goes. So most people's instincts would be to add brown, a darker brown, a more chocolate type brown, or black. I'm actually going to add green. I'm going to use MF watermelon is what I'm going to use this time, and that's a really translucent green color, and that's going to take me from the red more to the brown. If the other way around, like if you got a green pumpkin and you want to make it more brown, you can add red to it. Vice versa, reds and greens work really well for that, to go back and forth. So I'm gonna grab my watermelon, shake it up good, and we'll put some in there. Not gonna take too much because it is really, really close, as is where we're at right now. So I've already got 2 tablespoons per 12 cup batch over there, and I'm just going to add 1/4 teaspoon per side of this watermelon, and I think that's going to get us where we need to be. Clean all this glitter out of my spoon. Something else, guys, that especially if you guys are just starting out, if you've not done a lot of color matching before, do everything you can to not match something from a picture. If you can avoid it at all, do, because pictures can change so much from device to device. Colors can be way off. When you got it in your hand, you can tell, you can see how opaque or translucent everything is. You know, in the appendages, in the body, you can tell, even in this video, you can tell there's a big difference between the appendages and the body. And so I'm going basically for the body here because I'm going to a stick bait, but anyway, you guys get the idea of what I'm getting at there. I think we are going to be there. I'm going to go ahead and shoot one. Let her cool down, and that'll be it. Hopefully. Just an FYI, most of these videos are going to be more of like a production setting. That's what I do most of the time. I do this for a living, so most of it's not going to be single cups. I will do some videos just to show you guys some things on some more basic stuff, but most of it's going to be stuff like this with the shooting star. We'll do some production videos on, you know, how to speed up your production. We'll do some probably do some hand pour videos, show you guys what temps I run my griddles at, how hot I cook my plastic, when to pour between layers, all that. So be looking for that in the future. I'm going to try to go once a week on this. Don't shoot me if I don't. Sometimes life gets in the way. Keep looking back at the camera because I'm used to doing these live videos and nobody's asked me any questions. As soon as this cools off, we'll check it out, but pull a little bit of this off the top and compare it to the appendages there. You guys can see that very well. This piece I pulled off is kind of torn with the salt, but it is just almost exact, which is what we're looking for. We'll have a laminate video doing the same thing, how I go through and dissect the laminate, what colors I use for each side, how I determine what to use, and how to match each one independently instead of trying to match them together. All right, and see what we got. That is as close as we're gonna get, guys. Just almost exact. I don't know how well you can tell in the video, but if I hold this up to the light, it's just almost exactly the same. So, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys.